Hi everyone, excited to share some of the components, production quality components for Grim Dark Dungeon Master. For this quick short video, I wanted to share some of the stuff for the heroes. So the first thing you're going to notice as soon as you open the box is the amazing hero mats. These are really thick neoprene mats. You can see how thick they are there. And each hero has their own mat. This is the mighty dwarven Deathstalker, and he has, as you can see here, these mats have slots for the cards as you play, and each hero has a set of unique ability cards that give them their awesome maneuvers they can do during the course of the game. So as a hero plays their cards, they're going to put them in these slots here like this, and when you play a card, you immediately get the ability that says when played, but then also while that card is face up here in the row, you're also going to get that persistent effect. So as the game goes on, the heroes will do additional things to have additional actions. This is one of my favorite actions for the dwarf here. Hammer Slam, which attacks everyone in his tile, adjacent tiles, even can push any survivors back. The mats also cover some really cool persistent abilities that are always in effect for the hero, but after the hero's done too many things, those persistent abilities can start to get covered as well. And so they start to lose some of their abilities. But don't worry, when you want to get some of your abilities back so you can play them later, you can always play the rest card over here. And the rest card will let you bring all your stuff back into your hand like this, as long as you're not wounded. So there is one of the heroes here. Also now, the hero components, in addition to having the cool mat and your cards, you're also going to have a cool little hero figure. Now, the game's going to be able to be played with two sets of figures. One is the one that comes in the core set, are these really interesting acrylics. Check out this. It's rather thick. What's also lovely is the actual ink is printed inside the acrylic, so there's no way to accidentally scratch off the colors. You can see, as Rafe pointed out when we talked about this on the podcast, the art is different on the front than on the back. So there's the back of the dwarf's head. There's the front of the dwarf. So you get the really cool dwarven your little dwarven acrylic guy that's going to run around throughout the dungeon, as well as the cool mat to track what's happening, as well as your awesome hand of cards for the dwarf. But in the core set, there are two other heroes to get excited about. One, there's also an Archmage, and you can see him right here. Archmage Fenelvin, and he is right here. Here's his figure also. You can see right there, showing off his cool lightning ability. Again, front and back. I love how thick these acrylics are. So if you're not a miniature painter, awesome, because you get this right out of the box, fully painted, looks cool on the tabletop. Of course, we are going to have miniatures available as well for different pledge levels on GameFound. And so if you're more interested in collecting models and painting those models, that will be available as well. And we'll show the miniatures in a future video. And of course, also the Archmage has his own cards. One of my favorite abilities of his, Arcane Arrow, lets him shoot basically magical bolts down a corridor. So you might play that. He's also got Warded Advance, which defends his fellow heroes from magic while it's face up, in addition to getting an extra move. And of course, my particular favorite power is Chain Lightning, which ricochets down the corridor, pretty much fries everybody in his way. And he also has a different persistent effect than the Templar does. I'm sorry, than the Dwarf does. And I mentioned the Templar already. Of course, our third hero in the core set is the mighty Templar, and you can see him here on his cool mat. Again, these mats, you can see I've stacked all three of them up now. They're nice and thick. I've got them rolled in the box, but they unroll nice and stay flat, which is perfect. Again, you get this nice little bit of background material on the character. Of course, fantastic art. I couldn't be more blown away by what our artist was able to do and the production quality of these components. This is actually the production quality you're going to get in the game you get from us. And then in addition, of course, the Templar here also has his own set of cards. One of the stretch goals, by the way, we're going to look at is having different art on the back of the cards as well for different moves, and more extensive art for the different maneuvers. You'll see some of the art is duplicated, but if we get our good stretch goals there, we might change those a little bit and add some more artwork. But what's cool about this, again, every hero has their own ability. You can see here's a Templar as well. One of his abilities, Detect Evil, is probably his most unique ability. It doesn't do damage, but instead allows a Templar to sense the layout of the dungeon and force the Grim Dark Dungeon Master to play tiles at the Templar's behest, which is part of what makes this game the competitive dungeon building game. It gives the Templar the ability to start taking control of the dungeon. So again, those cards as well. And of course, we've got a cool Templar acrylic here also. You can check him out there and see his awesome art on the front and the back as well. So there you go. Those are some of the hero components. More on other components in future videos.